Hey everyone, my name is Matt Lopez from the Daily Trade. Welcome to tonight's watch list for tomorrow, December 1st, right? The start of the month. Today was very exciting. A lot of you were trading today. I saw that you joined. We finally hit that 100 mark on the live stream. That was pretty awesome. Thank you for everyone that joined from, just all around email, the text messages from the Discord chat, from the watch list if you came from here. It is very much, I'm very much grateful to everyone that joined this morning, and very excited to see more of you in the future. And I have a special surprise for you at the end of this. Watch this video for you. So I just wanted to say it is going to be December, right? We have been looking forward to this. We had the best month in so long. The Dow, right, rising to 30,000 this month. We already know I talked about this yesterday. But the thing is that the Dow rose, and it's the best it's done in a month for years, right? Since 1987, as they're reporting it right now. Today was a very little bit of choppiness that was very iffy. Algos seem to be running the market today. We had a nice sell-off right at open, even though we jumped up higher in the morning, even after we opened lower in futures. So we did fall off the cliff here for a bit in the morning, even with that volume, and then jump back up into after hours. And right now in futures, if we look at futures, futures are popping. And so that's very exciting to see how we're leading into tomorrow, leading into all-time highs. As you can see here, we're almost at all-time highs again, and we are just killing it. And that's something that is very interesting. I mean, if you look across the board today, a lot of stuff just sold off. There was a lot of selling. There was a lot of confusion today. A lot of people getting in and out of stuff. And that's really what I want to talk about. I mean, that was a major thing today. A lot of volume in the market. And so that was something that happened. And, people were thinking it was a pump and dump scheme pretty much. So I heard that a lot from a lot of people trying to message me and everything saying, hey, what's going on today? Why is it pumping and dumping? So that's really what I wanted to cover. And other than that, pretty much moving on. I wanted to try and add some stuff into the watch list, right? Getting into some other stuff, not only just day trading, but also the passive income that we want to see. And here we have it with dividends, right? So dividends, if you don't know, obviously are paying a piece of the profit of the company. And I can go over this in a new video on the side and show you what dividends are and really how they pay out. But I wanted to show the X dates, which are the day before the record date, which you're supposed to be in, so that you can get a dividend payout. And I wanted to show you each watch list day, what's the next day, X dividend date. So for tomorrow, we can see here FNB, AVA, SU, IMO, PBK. So you may not know these stocks. I may not know them either, but these are the highest yields for tomorrow that pay out, right? They don't pay out tomorrow, but you want to be in them tomorrow before the record date, which is the day after that. And then they pay out days later. And it depends on when their record, not their record date, but when their payout date is. But these are the highest paying for tomorrow that they have their X dates. And I just want to show that. But if we go not only by dividend yield, but we go by the price, right? So more likely the higher market cap. We already know some, right? Home Depot with a 2% yield, Qualcomm with a 1.7% yield. And we're just looking at that. So just something to keep your eye on, and just keep your mind on something that you may want to tag along into for passive income along the way, and just add to it as you make your money in options trading or just regular day trading in stocks. And so that's something to keep your eye on. So with the dividend corner, that's going to be something I'll be continuing to do in every day. And something that happened today too, right? A lot of people were paying attention to Zoom after hours, right? Zoom had a double beat today, which means their earnings, earnings per share was 99 cents per share adjusted, right? Versus their 76 expected from the analyst. Pretty much telling you that, hey, guess what? We beat, our earnings, but there was also something I needed to note, and I'll tell you after. Their earnings per share were beat, and they beat the expectations. Also, revenue, which is part of their double beat, their revenue beat as well, But something that happened with Zoom after hours, and a lot of people weren't expecting this even after a double beat, is they dropped lower. And guess what? You might have seen this coming. Well, as a vaccine is coming in, and you see this coming with the market, guess what? Zoom won't really have a place in the world in the future. I mean, we still will continue to use it, but not at such a high rate or such a high frequency as people are using it now with everything, right? So you kind of see that today. You kind of see it come down, and guess what? I mean, they pretty much gave out, not so good of a guidance, of pretty much saying that we're going to be moderately um, coming down, not coming down, but it won't be as extensive of growth as it was in the previous quarters since COVID has started, right? So that being said, I mean, you won't see that much growth as fast, and that means pretty much their profit, um, their ratios aren't going to be as good, making their actual stock price not as valuable as it should be. And it should be a lot lower if we continue to be on the decline, even with vaccines coming out and people not using Zoom as much. And that's where pretty much that guidance was after hours, and a lot of people were surprised even with the double V. And I'll explain this too, right? I gotta have another one of actual video telling you guys how I play earnings and how I have done earnings. Earnings really, it's not about whether they, if they beat earnings per share or if they beat revenue or if they've done both. It's really mainly about guidance, and guidance is probably the biggest thing that pushes you forward for earnings, right? Even though guidance comes out a little bit after their earnings and what they report, it's still something that will affect the share price, and that's what a lot of people don't get. And previous quarter, you want to adjust for that, right? That's probably what that whole adjustment was between that quarter and that next earnings date. But the guidance is what really is going to guide the next part, and I'll talk about that in a video, so I won't drag this along. So that's pretty much what happened with Zoom today, and there wasn't really anything else that had earnings today. But tomorrow is going to be an interesting one, and I can go over that. Watch this tomorrow. Right. So earnings tomorrow, we pretty much have Salesforce after hours, at home, Box, Viva, and these are some of the ones that you might know. Momo in the morning. I don't think a lot of people have played that before, but a major one that everyone's looking forward to is Salesforce, obviously, because at Salesforce, their earnings call, they're most likely going to announce what's going to happen with work, right? What they're going to be expecting to buy work at, and they'll be announcing it then. Obviously, today in the morning, we did get that news on work that they are, I mean, obviously they're going to be purchasing it, right? So we already knew that. But there was a lot of reports that it's going to be coming out for above a certain price, right? And they're going to be paying a premium at it. So what a lot of people are expecting right now is above $50 for the share price that they're going to be purchasing it at. Obviously, that's going to drive the price higher, even seeing that it is at all-time high. And that is something we should be looking at. And going into the rest of the week, there has been a lot of call volume on the $50 calls. So that is something I saw today that is very interesting as well. Another thing to note is that we do have at home, I believe, let's see, home has had a rough couple weeks, right? Let me see, November, right? We had that downside with November. It's been choppy, kind of like a few other, major tech stocks, but something that really drove it higher this time for coming around earnings is really the anticipation to see where we're at, right? And we already did get that big boom of home sales, so there was something to drag along there for the HPI, which is the home price index, and seeing how it might collide with this as well. Let's see. So what's next in the market? What I'm gonna tell you. I mean, there's a few things, right? We already have a few that have been talked about in the past couple weeks. Obviously, we have the EV stocks, right? China is wanting. I mean, not China, but the U.S. is going into vote this week about auditing Chinese stocks, and if they don't get the audit and they refuse, then they will be delisted from the exchanges. U.S. exchanges. So that's pretty much what has been on the turmoil for the past few days. actually just announced over the weekend. I believe it's the weekend because I did talk about it. I believe I did talk about it on Thursday's watch list for Friday. And that's pretty much what has been happening, right? The downside, nobody's really talking about EV stocks anymore, right? It's not really a big thing, as well as NEO with that downside today and then pop up just like the rest of the market. We are seeing that happen now, right? The downside is coming down. And there's actually still a 34% short float on NEO, which is very bearish. Um, and seeing that is, I mean, we could see even more downside, but we haven't seen that fully. Nikola as well, right? We're getting that downside again. Seeing that the news with, I believe it was the GM, not they're not continuing with the Badger on Nikola, so they're not going to be continuing and helping out with the Badger production. And that's something that affected the stock, obviously, because they're not going to continue to, make this happen. And guess what? The investors don't really care if there's not a car. The other things that moved today, AMD, this is something that was very cool to watch. AMD finally popped over that 90 once again, right? It's been a while since we popped over that 90, a few months, right? We haven't popped over since September. Nice pop off in one sweet scoop in one day, right? From that pretty much low of 86 all the way up to 92 end of day. And we did again, right? We did have that drop off, just like the rest of the stock market, and then pop back up. And we did see that a lot with, algos being the helpers there. You can see that same thing in Apple. Apple finally got to 120 in a while. We finally saw that pop off, and we did talk about that last week, waiting for that nice pop off. And I am in the equity on Apple. But we were waiting, right? We're waiting for this to still break out, right? We didn't continue the breakout. We are continuing in after hours, but we want to see it continue higher, right, into the next few months, next few weeks. This is going to be a nice runner, allowing for the rest of the market to continue. Another thing that we are watching to continue. Sorry, this isn't actually what I was watching to continue, but Roku was almost the same thing as Apple and AMD, right? Same continuation as we did, bounce off the volume profile and continue higher for the rest of the day. It was very, what a lot of people were saying, right? The pump and dump scheme that people were seeing. And it must have sucked because if you were in the options, and I did see, right? Out of the money options were actually the same price all right here. And then they started to accumulate some premium value when we start getting up here, and that's really where it topped off. And same thing with obviously Apple, AMD. Another thing we played today is SNDL. Obviously, with the cannabis news coming out later this week, you saw a few cannabis stocks popping off, and that's really where I saw SNDL. Saw some unusual options flow in the bots coming in today. Got into those around here in the 50. Actually got in right here, first entry. Re-entry right here on the lows, and then made it and popped off with almost 70% in profit. Some people with 100%, a little bit more, but it was insane to see this thing just pop off almost to $1 from that 50-cent mark, right? So almost 100% reach in the stock price, and we're still continuing in after hours. And I mean, pretty much into the rest of the week and the rest of the month, we're still looking at those Black Friday continuations, right? We're still getting more numbers on the Cyber Monday deals, Cyber Week. So there's a lot of stuff we still have to look out for. Amazon really had a drop off today. Didn't really recover fully as a lot of the other stuff in the market. So that's something we have to look out for as we continue into the rest of the week. In the future on Watchlist, I am going to be giving away Amazon card giveaways. This is something I really wanted to look forward to for you guys to, stick around towards the end of the video. Starting tomorrow, and I just want to give you a heads up. I didn't want to start it today so that people that watch this can watch it tomorrow and know that they are ready. So the first people to actually watch through the video, there's going to be a certain point in the video that I will be giving out the Amazon card codes. And when I give it out, I'm going to give out either one or two per watch list. And the first people to obviously get the codes and use them, then guess what? You have the code and you get to have free cash on your Amazon. And so that's pretty much what I want to take away from this. I mean, you guys I mean, I appreciate you guys coming to the watch list, watching it, joining the live streams, and I may even add it to the live streams later. Um, but giving you an incentive to watch the watch list. I mean, get out there, do some homework, and take away from it, and you know what, get something out of it, right? Invite some other people, watch the watch list. You know, get some stuff out of it, and that's something that is very lucrative for some people, right? Also, if you check the link below, I think I have it posted. The link tree post, if you go through there and sign up for the weekly emails that we send out, or sometimes daily, the emails might have the Amazon code giveaway as well. So that is something that you should be looking forward to and possibly signing up for the emails. And again, right, I talked about this. I'm going to talk about this until pretty much COVID is gone. Um, right now, we're still market rallying temporary on news, right? We still have the vaccine news. There's a lot of stuff going around. So it's really just we're still going to stay on this. And I don't think I'm actually going to come back to this until we actually have a different phase, right? We're still in this phase. So might as well just wait until we get to the next phase to come back to this and watch this videos. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching tonight's video, and I will see you tomorrow in the live stream for a couple hours, and then I will head off and let you guys, watch the data on your own. Other than that, thank you once again. Hope to see you in the new options course in January. Hope to see you in the chat. Hope to see you everywhere joining the daily trade as much as you can. Have a good one. Have a good night. Good night now.